What if the way we've been looking at maps is just wrong? Today, we're going to look at the relationship between Baluchistan and the Gulf states through a powerful new lens. We're going way beyond the usual headlines and mega projects to uncover a deeper, more connected system that's been at play all along.
This sentence right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. It really forces you to challenge your mental map of the world, to forget about simple borders for a second, and instead start thinking in terms of shared spaces and, well, shared futures. So, what does this new map even look like? Well, here's the key. It's not defined by land, but by water. You see, Baluchistan and the Gulf are fundamentally linked by the Arabian Sea system. And this system carries absolutely everything: trade, energy, major security concerns, even climate patterns.
Right, so a change on the coast of Baluchistan isn't just some isolated event. It creates ripples that are felt across the entire region, from the massive shipping lanes heading out of Jebel Ali all the way to the food security of nations across the Gulf. It's all one big, interconnected environment.
Okay, so to make sense of all this interconnectedness, you need a new strategic framework. This is where a really interesting concept called the Aquarian model comes in, and it offers a completely different way of looking at regional development and cooperation.
So what exactly is the Aquarian model? Well, at its core, it's about moving away from the old, rigid ways of thinking. The idea of building these isolated fortresses of development. Instead, it's about shifting towards creating flexible, adaptive, and deeply connected networks that can actually grow and evolve together.
And when you put the two side by side, the shift in thinking is, well, it's stark. Instead of just isolated megaprojects, you focus on integrated systems. Instead of these narrow plans for just one industry, it's about integrating the entire value chain. The whole goal shifts from simple control and extraction to fostering connection and adaptation. It's a fundamental change in mindset.
And this isn't some abstract academic theory. For leaders in the Gulf, this is a very familiar playbook. This exact kind of systems-based thinking, linking ports to free zones, energy to industry, security to prosperity, it's precisely what drove the incredible transformation of nations like the UAE.
All right, so enough with the theory. Let's look at how this is actually playing out on the ground. We'll dive into 3 examples from Baluchistan that show how this network-based thinking is already being put into practice. First up, Gwadar Port. Now, you often hear it framed as a competitor to the big Gulf ports, but that's that old fortress-style thinking. If you look at it through a network lens, its real potential is as a complementary piece of the ecosystem. It can act as a secondary hub for transshipment, a specialized gateway for Baluchistan's minerals, and crucially, a backup node that adds resilience to the whole regional network if other ports face disruptions.
Okay, next up, let's look at the Chagai mineral belt. This is where we see a massive, tangible shift from these abstract ideas to some very concrete action, and it's all being driven by a major joint venture. So let's break this down. First, you have the commercial entry, a multi-billion-dollar investment from Abu Dhabi's IRH. Second, and this is the really key part, the focus is on the entire value chain, not just digging stuff out of the ground. And third, this investment creates its own infrastructure logic. To move all that copper and gold, you're going to need new rail and road networks, which integrates the whole system from the mine right to the market.
And this network approach, it also applies to shared challenges, especially something huge like climate change. The old way is reactive. You send relief after a flood. The Aquarian way is all about being anticipatory. It means building shared early warning systems, exchanging data, and sharing capabilities across the region, moving out of national silos to build a kind of collective resilience.
But beyond all the ports and the minerals, probably the strongest network of all is the human one. And this isn't some new connection. It's a bridge that's literally been centuries in the making, with some incredibly deep historical roots.
And these roots run incredibly deep, particularly with Oman. For over 175 years, Gwadar was actually part of the Omani Sultanate. That history didn't just vanish in 1958. It lives on today in the families who connect both sides of the Arabian Sea.
And we're not talking about outsiders here. These communities are a core part of Oman's national fabric. You'll find them in government, the military, business. They are the ultimate proof of this whole Aquarian idea, a living, breathing network that proves the Arabian Sea has always been a cohesive system that connects people, not a barrier that separates them.
So, where does that leave us? What's the path forward? Well, it really requires a conscious shift in strategy.
moving away from thinking in terms of just isolated projects and really moving toward cultivating a true resilient partnership. And at the end of the day, the most important thing isn't just about money. It's about achieving better strategic alignment, making sure all the partners involved are thinking in terms of networks, not fortresses. So what does that look like in practice? Well, you start with shared platforms, things like formal port partnerships and climate data exchanges. From there, you deepen the integration with co-invested projects, just like that Chagai venture. And the ultimate goal? For Baluchistan to evolve into the Gulf's Eastern resilience partner, making the entire Arabian Sea system stronger and more stable for everyone. And all of this leaves us with one final critical question. The infrastructure can be built, the investments can be made, sure, but will it all just be a collection of separate, isolated projects? Or will it actually mature into a truly connected, adaptive system? The answer to that is going to shape the future of the entire region.